Okay, so today we're going to continue the scene on the act 2 of the scene of cash flow. I've already given you the worksheet that you're supposed to complete in the previous lesson. Can we take out the worksheet and then let's go and have a very quick discussion? Okay, can you take out the worksheet on the revolution in Cuba in activity 2, and then we'll have a very quick discussion on what you mean by what you see over there. Okay, there are 3 questions here, very quick questions. Have you all read up on the revolution in Cuba? So understand the context. Do you understand the context? Okay, so to keep the long story short, okay, what happened was that Castro overthrew, okay, Batista, who has actually been getting the support from the Americans. So now the key thing is, after Batista has been forced to flee Cuba, Castro was the one who has actually set up the regime in Cuba, and that was actually a very left-wing regime, which is called in this case, it's actually the communist regime. Okay, so what we're going to do now is actually to look at some of the questions. First question, what do you mean by nationalizing foreign property? What do you understand by nationalizing foreign property? Making okay, the companies or what we call the corporation, okay, national. Meaning it belongs to who? Okay, belongs to the government now. Okay, belongs to the government. In short, it belongs to the government who act for the people. Now the next thing that I want to bring to your attention is, why do you think Castro wanted to nationalize American businesses in Cuba? What do you think is happening here? Why do you think it's nationalizing all these things in Cuba?
Because they refuse to ally.
They refuse to ally. Do you think it's because Cuba refused to ally with America? Do you think that's the reason? Why do you think Castro wanted to nationalize American businesses? Why? For their own benefit. Okay. What do you mean by for their own benefit? What do you mean by for their own benefit? And anybody elaborate on this? What do you mean by for their own benefit? Huh? For economic growth, okay? For their own benefit, for economic growth. Okay. Any other thing? Why do you think they want to nationalize? Is there any particular reason why they want to nationalize American businesses? Anybody? Why do you think they want to nationalize American businesses? Okay, maybe to punish America, maybe they don't like the American, could be a possibility if they don't like the American. Okay, I'm going to pose a question based on this, based on what Delrina has mentioned about don't like the American. Let's say the British have established some businesses in Cuba. Would Cuba do the same thing? Why? British allied with America, good. What happened if at that point of time Singapore was already a very well-established country? Well, very well-established country, and we also have businesses in Cuba. Do you think Castro would do the same to us? How many of you think that Castro will do the same to us? Please raise your hand. How many of you think Castro will not do anything to us? So all of you feel that Castro will do something to us. Why? Why? Huh? Okay, so they for their own benefit. You think it's for their own benefit. Okay? So let me give you another scenario. What happened if, let's say, Thailand, if they actually have the ability to have all these economic resources and they invest in Cuba, will the same thing happen to them? Why? Why do you think the same thing will also happen to the other countries, like Thailand or Singapore? Huh? Because it's not related to Cuba. Okay, it's not related to Cuba. Now I want you to think more deeply into the concept of communism. What is communism? So, when Castro is doing all these things, what are they actually doing? They are fulfilling what a communist regime, okay, are supposed to do. Communist regime are supposed to do that. You understand the logic or not? It has nothing to do with the American. Whether is it the American, the Dutch, the British, or any other country whatsoever, it doesn't matter because at the end of it, these are what communist regime do. You understand? Because that is their belief, that is their philosophy of having what we call equality, fairness. These are the things that they were looking out for, equality and fairness. So it doesn't matter. Okay? But now the question is, when the American businesses were being closed out, how did the Americans see this whole thing? How do the Americans see this? Do you think the Americans saw it as, yeah, that's how communist regime looks? Do you think they will see it that way? How will they see it? They are threatened, they are unhappy, they see it as the Cubans are doing something to the Americans. Can you see the context now? Why? Because this event just happened and immediately Castro started to take away all these American businesses for the benefit of their own country, for their own economic growth, like what you mentioned. But the Americans did not see it this way. They only saw this thing. Can you see that or not? So, if they don't like the American, likewise, the American would even like Castro. Can you see the situation so far? So that was the whole entire context of it, which brings us to the next one. Okay, if you're an American business owner and Castro had nationalized your company asset in Cuba, who would you look for help? Who will you look for help? Quite obvious, right? The only person you will look for help is our Kennedy and our US government. Please go do something. I own the company in US and now I have nothing. Can you see the context here? So it puts the American on direct collision with Fidel Castro. See it so far? Understand what's going on? Good. Now let's move on to the next slide. Okay, can we move on to the next slide now? Can you turn over to the second page? Okay, that is when the political cartoon is. You have this on your worksheet itself. Okay, can we go through this very, very quickly? Now, what is the title of this whole entire political cartoon? Where was this cartoon being? Who is the author of this cartoon? Who is the author of this cartoon? Who was this author of this cartoon? He is a... What nationality do you think he's from? American. So whose side were he expected to be on? American side. This was published in 1960. When did it happen? Any event happening in between them? Did it happen before the Cuban Missile Crisis? Before the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? After what? After the revolution. So Castro is now in power and now the Cuban Missile Crisis has not happened. So what will be the general sentiment of the American businessman now that Castro has really done all the nationalization? What is the general sentiment now? Happy? No, don't like the Americans, right? Don't like the Cubans because of the way that they are doing things. So this is your context. Can you tell me based on this picture, what is the author trying to tell you? What is he trying to tell you? What can you infer from this cartoon? What can you see from this cartoon? Anybody? Okay, we already have the first one. This fella is obviously anti-Castro because he is pro-America and it's after the revolution. Okay. Can you tell me what do you see in this cartoon? Pick up aspect of the cartoon that you see. You saw bones, right? What were they using to cook this pot of soup or whatever that they are talking about? They're using the American bones to pick up to feed who? To feed Castro, and of course the other one smiling there at the right at the corner could be one of his stooges, his henchmen. So what is he trying to say from this? From this part of the picture up to that one? What is he trying to hit? What is the cartoonist trying to hit? Castro is doing what? He is taking all these things to benefit himself and his government. Can you see that? So, what is the implication of it? What can you infer that about Castro government? if you read this cartoon, you see this, what is happening? What is your impression of Castro government? Corrupted, good. Corrupted, no good. Correct? Bad government, no good. So very clearly, he is anti-Castro. Anti-Castro government, anti-Cuban government. So can you see from this picture? They are laughing and they are so fat. Now what is happening to the people? They are not fat. So what is it also telling you about the Castro government? Okay, what is the inference you can have? They are corrupted, they only care for their own benefit. Good. So the whole entire thing seems to be placing the blame on the Castro government, saying that the Castro government was corrupted. So you could see very clearly this fella is definitely anti-Castro. Now, can we look at this other part of this picture? Who is this man here? Look carefully at the picture. What is written on the chest? That means that who does he represent? He talked about ownership by Cuban. Now let's look at the title of this whole entire political cartoon. What is being mentioned? What happened when they run out of foreigners? So who are they targeting at now? What are they trying to say? When they say what happened when, what do you think is the answer for this? What happened when they run out of foreigners? What will they do? They will chop up the Cuban and then they will use them for soup. Can you see what is happening here? They will chop up the Cuban, they will use them for soup. So, who is the American cartoonist trying to appeal to also? He's trying to tell the Cuban businessman what is happening. You are next. You are next. Don't be happy. Oh, American, yeah, they took away your businesses. We are no longer competitors. But I can assure you, after they have finished their pot of soup, these greedy people are still going to want some more. And then the next group of people they are going to want is you. So, based on this context, what are they trying to do? What are they trying to do? Why did they publish this cartoon on the newspaper? Why? To convince the people, okay, about this fella, right? That he is corrupted, he's greedy, and he's actually trying to get the people to do what?
Go against him.
To go against him. Very good. To go against him. To fight against him. Okay, and not to rest on this. So what you see over here is how he actually sees the Castro, how he actually sees the American businesses to fatten themselves. Okay, so you can see the fat Castro government versus the skinny, malnourished Cuban. On the other hand, he's also trying to tell the American people, look what happened. At the end of it, the Cuban, please, once we have finished out the foreigners, you are next. Don't be too happy. Don't think that your government is very nice to you. And finally, the last part that they were talking about is that they will target the local company. And what he's trying to do was actually to discredit the Castro government. Okay? Sorry, trying to discredit the Castro government. Okay, so this is very clear. Whose perspective is he trying to put again? Whose perspective is he trying to show? Whose perspective? American perspective. Very good. He's trying to put forth American perspective, and because of this whole American perspective, he is trying to be pro-American. Now the next question is this source reliable?
No.
Yes. Is this source reliable?
No.
Why not? Science and the way that he had depicted. How did he caricature Castro? Is Castro that fat? No, right? So when he exaggerates things like in the cartoon, when he do that, he is trying to show to the people they don't like him. If I draw horns on this person, that means I don't like him. So I caricaturize him. He is caricaturizing Castro government as though they are cannibals. They are eating up people. So the way that he has depicted them is already an exaggerated version, therefore not reliable. Okay? Subin? Okay lah. Now, any questions so far? Are we clear on this? Okay, now we are going to look at activity number 3. Okay, we're going to look at activity number 3, and that is called the Bay of Pigs. Okay, Act 3, Bay of Pigs. Why do we call it Bay of Pigs? I'll let you find it out yourself. Okay, now the Bay of Pigs, okay, context is over here. It is a very lengthy read. Okay, it's a very, very lengthy read. What I want you to do, very simple, read this article and answer the question on the second page. There's only one very simple question. Okay, I'm going to give you about 7 minutes to read it. Pick up the keywords, go straight to the question first. Okay, look at the question on the second page, and then I want you to spend about 7 minutes to do so. Time on the clock is 12:50. Okay, we will start our discussion at 12:57. Are we clear about what you're supposed to do? Okay, so everybody pick up your worksheet, underline if you need to. Okay, these are information on the Bay of Pigs, which I think is very useful. Finish answering the question, you may want to take a look at the picture here. Okay, the picture that was found on page 1. And I want you to make an inference. What do you think is the message of this? Please don't wait for my answers. Please write down and start thinking. In the examination, Mr. Ng is not going to sit beside you to give you the answer. You have to try. And I know you can do it. Okay, 40 seconds left. Okay, all eyes on me. Okay, first question. Okay, can you take a look at this picture over here? Okay, can you take a look at this picture over here? Now, this picture was Castro and Khrushchev and the UN conference. Okay, very cute, right? Very loving, right? Two of them. Why are they showing public affection? Why are they showing public affection and friendship? So what are they trying to do? Yes, so Khrushchev is actually openly supporting Castro. That means that he has accepted Castro government. He accepted that the fact that Cuba now has a legitimate pro-Russian government. So because of this public affection, it created a lot of worry among the democratic countries, which is why the context of the Bay of Pigs comes about. Can you tell me a little bit about the Bay of Pigs? What have you read about the Bay of Pigs? What is the Bay of Pigs? What is the key thing about the Bay of Pigs? Okay, so it's actually a US invasion of Cuba. Okay, was it successful? No. So if it's not successful, what type of impact does it have on Castro? If you are Castro and you finally push off the American, what is going through your mind after that? Huh? Oh, well, do you feel very good? Oh, I can beat USA. For now. You understand the context? I can beat USA for now. But if another attack were to come in stronger, like what happened during the Korean War, I may not be able to fence off the American. You understand the context already? Now, does this whole picture make even more sense to you? I need a big friend. I need somebody behind me to support me. I cannot be all alone. No man is an island. In case of Cuba, Cuba cannot stand alone. Understand the context so far. Therefore, they need to work with Khrushchev. Now, the next question that I want to bring to your attention is this one. Now, first of all, do you think the Americans have the right to take away or to change by having this Cuba invasion by force? Okay, how many of you think that is perfectly legitimate? Raise up your hand. Perfectly legitimate. Good. Aina, can you tell me, other than your hair transplant for Castro, why do you think it's perfectly legitimate? Okay, so democracy means the right to choose your. Okay, so democracy means, because democracy means the right to choose. Okay, right to choose. So why is it that it's okay for the Americans to come in? Did the people get to choose? Okay, so that's another point. Thank you. One more later. Let's continue what I was saying. That's why you mentioned that democracy means the right to choose. First of all, do the people in Cuba choose this government? Why is it that you think that they didn't choose this government? Because how did this government came to power? Revolution, right? Revolution means what? If, like, for example, Manesh decided to start a revolution and he managed to gather a big army for himself and he became the government, is this the people's choice? Not necessarily so, right? Not necessarily so. So, because he gained power via revolution, so is this a legitimate government? Is it democratic? No. Okay, so it's not democratic. Okay, because it's not democratic, therefore, American has the right to go in and say, I want to do something. Okay, what was your second point? Okay, American businesses okay, American businesses were affected. Okay. Is it perfectly legitimate that if my company, my country company had been taken away by force based on no fair ruling, do you think it's perfectly okay for my country to go in and help my own people? Sounds logical, right? If let's say Singapore, we have a big company in another country, suddenly this big other country decided that, oh, from today onwards, this company don't belong to you anymore. It belongs to their own country. Or, example, Apple is a company in USA, right? They come here, they set up a branch, there's an Apple company here. Then Singapore decided to do the horrible thing. I take away Apple and say, oh sorry, now Apple in Singapore belongs to the Singapore one. Not fair, right? So that's why it's not legitimate. Understand? Because it's not legitimate, Americans have all the right to do so. Okay, Americans have all the right to do so. Now, what other thing also prompted the Americans that say, we need to do something about this? What were they worried about? Okay, you're worried about the spreading of communism. Very good. Communism, the whole idea about the, remember the domino effect? Okay, they have the domino effect. Now, based on all these reasons that you see here, okay, based on all these reasons that you see here, the Americans sees this as, yes, it's perfectly okay for us to go in and do something about it. However, there is also the other side of the coin. Why is it that Castro feels that this is wrong? Why did the Americans don't have the right to do so? Why? How can we argue? If let's say you're Castro now, and you're a Castro lawyer, and you need to argue for him, how are you going to argue and say the Americans have no right to do that? First of all, it's not their country. Good point. Is it your business? No right. Can you imagine we go over and tell Malaysia, this is how you should run your country? Is that right? So what is this idea? That means that we are actually infringing on what? What's the word? Right, okay, good. The right to rule, okay, the right to rule is called what? Start with S. Sovereignty. Okay, the right to rule means you are actually infringing on their sovereignty. Can you imagine if America comes in and wants to mingle with our business, meddle with our business? Oh, you shouldn't run your country this way. You should run it this way. That's also the wrong thing. So, because of that, if you infringe on sovereignty, what other thing does it infringe on? What is the American key belief as a democratic country? People must have the right, must have freedom right. So, when you are doing that, are you giving freedom to the people? If let's say it's really true, not the Malaysia example, what if it's really true? The people in Cuba really wanted Castro. They don't want Batista. By doing this, are you being fair to them? You understand my context? So Castro can argue it this way. No, it's unfair to us because the people really wanted me, Castro, to be in power. Do you understand the context? So Americans have actually overstepped. Okay, they have stepped over the line. Okay, they have stepped over the line. Okay, are we clear on this so far? Now, the fun thing is not over. In the Bay of Pigs incident, the Americans did the invasion. They failed. The Russians were very upset because their friends were being threatened. Castro was being threatened. And therefore, the two of them started to send a very strong worded letter to each other. Okay? They actually sent, like pen pal like that, they wrote a letter to convey their unhappiness to one another. Okay? What is this letter all about? Okay, we're going to look at this thing called the ICUC. Why you call it ICUC? Because we're talking about different perspectives. Now we're moving on to activity number 4. Activity number 4. Okay? I want you to understand the US invasion context. And what I need you to do now is very, very simple. This article here that you see, This article here that you see consists of two letters, both written on the same day to one another. Okay? It is a letter, one from Khrushchev to Kennedy. It happens on April the 18th after the Cuban Bay of Pigs incident. And the other one was from Kennedy to Khrushchev about how they feel about this incident. Now what I need you to do, very simple. I want you to read through this article, these two letters from one another. And I want you to pick out and infer what was the thing that both parties wanted to do. Okay, the table is found on the back. Okay, I want you to write down what was their perspective about Castro and the communist regime in Cuba, what was Kennedy or the American perspective, what was Khrushchev's perspective, and then the next one is what is the objective? What do they want to do with Cuba? Okay, what do they want to achieve in Cuba? Okay, and all these things can be found in the letters that you see over there. Okay, are we clear about what you're supposed to do? This is how we do source-based case study. Okay, example of another source-based case study. Are we clear about what you're supposed to do? Okay, can I give you about 8 minutes to do so? Okay, by about 12:45, we will discuss one of the letters first. We'll look at either the American or the Russian perspective before I go through with you to borrow the other perspective. So that you have an idea if you're not sure what you're supposed to do. Are we clear about what you need to do? Okay, I know there's a lot of information overload, but these are some of the things that you need to pay attention to, especially about their viewpoint on what they want to do with Cuba, because it will impact the decision that they were going to make about the Cuban Missile Crisis in the later part of the incident. Okay, so about 12:45, okay, we'll discuss very quickly one of the viewpoints. Okay, you don't have the time, can you just look at Khrushchev one first? Okay, I know that you are running out of time and I know that you are very, very tired. Okay, can we look at just Khrushchev? You can look at Kennedy one and go back. Okay, can you look at Khrushchev? I will discuss Khrushchev's point of view for this. Okay, underline what are the things that you see, what is he trying to say in that very thinly veiled comment that you do. What is he trying to do? show how that who is still in the middle of doing that. Who have not finished. You're not finished. Or finished. Or you're just waiting for me to give answer. All of you need me to sit beside you during your history examination. Okay? You want in on me or okay? Then I have to clone 42 of me so that I can see 41. 42 lah. I still need to clone one extra in case one of my clone falls sick. Okay, let's start with the Bay of Pigs first. Okay, why is it called Bay of Pigs? This is where the Bay of Pigs is. Okay, this one you should remember, you should know lah. This name, does it sound very familiar to you? Okay, we talk about the Cuban cigars, everything, they are all found around this. This is where they actually make all these. Now, the Guantanamo Bay is where they actually, the British, the Americans used to have their military base. So this is actually a place where, okay, if you look at this, this is actually Cuba. Now, why is it called the Bay of Pigs? Is it because there's a lot of these animals running around in the area? Okay, actually it was not. Okay, what happened was that when the Americans went over there, their military bases, and they have a lot of Americans coming here. They were at this bay. You all know what's a bay, right? It's actually an open area that goes into this. There was a lot of things called like seagulls, birds, who was actually feasting in the area. That means there are a lot of birds coming in. And of course, the Americans didn't know what those birds are. So they asked the local, what are all those birds? But the Cubans actually replied them in their own native language. And the American misheard. And he thought that the animal is called pig. It's a bird lah, it's a bird, but he said it's pig. So they find the name very amusing, and the area was later called the Bay of Pigs. Okay, was called the Bay. So it had nothing to do with animal or pork or whatever. They didn't have shabu shabu or anything over there. Okay, so there wasn't all this, but that was called the Bay of Pigs. Now, the Americans started this attack to overthrow the government in April 1961. What they were expected, according to John F. Kennedy, he kept denying that he knew about it. In fact, he could be true. We don't know. Because he was, before he actually wrote down everything, he was actually killed. Okay, he wrote a memoir, but during his memoir, he says that he didn't know anything. It was the CIA who backed 1,400 Cuban exiles to go against Castro. That means these people were formerly supporters of Batista government. They want to overthrow them. They failed. Okay. Now, as a result of this, Khrushchev sent a very interesting letter. A letter that shows his unhappiness towards the American administration. And this was the letter in April 18, 1961. What I want you to infer is only this two things. Can you tell me what was Khrushchev's view about the Bay of Pigs invasion? What was his perception? What was his perception? What was his perception based on this thing? What was his perception? Okay, he thinks he blamed who? How do you know he blamed the American? What evidence shows that he was blaming the American? He says that the plane bombing the city belonged to USA. The bomb they were dropping was supplied by the American government. Your statement a day says that you will not participate. It gives the impression that you are taking into account the world. Okay, so again, what is he trying to hint about the Americans? Huh? They broke their promise. Not just that, like, not like, yeah, you very bad and broke your promise. He's saying that they are. What's that word that they are? They will say. He's saying that the US equals to. You tell people you want world peace. Remember? Oh, I'm fighting for. I'm doing all these things. I don't want to interfere. But the American, why was the American? Do they have the right to do that? No right. Self-determination, freedom, democracy, all these things are nonsense to them. They changed the ruling. That was what Khrushchev was trying to say. And he's actually using all these statements to blame the American for what they have done. Okay, you see that? He's blaming the American. He's saying that, look, You have allowed this covert campaign to take place. It is your fault, not the American, not anybody's fault. The exiles are not so strong. It's because you support. Okay, what other thing? What was the Russian stand on Cuba? What do they want to do? They want to support Cuba. How do they plan to support Cuba? Is it just verbal? Now that 加油加油 no right? Not 加油加油 right? Or 頑張れ頑張れ no right? What are they trying to do? What do they want to do? What did he mention? Very, very strong word. It's not just about go, go, go Cuba, go Castro. No, no. What did they say? We will render them help and we will repel. Repel means what? We are going to ban. So, obviously, Castro, Hart, with Khrushchev had worked out. They are now buddy, blood brothers. This is what the Soviets are doing. They are going to render them help. So that means that if America were to threaten Cuba, what will happen? War will happen. Can you see the context now? It's different now, no? It's not just a civil war as what happened in Korea. It is now an open statement that if you come in and do something about it, I am coming in to help you. Simple as that. So it is even more serious than Korean War. Because Korean War, both sides will just stay out of the, if you remember the source page question that you have done. Stalin was not very keen on going in to get himself involved. They were worried. So they will try to keep a distance. But this one is very different. No, Khrushchev is saying, if you are game, I'm game. You want to make Cuba our playground, let's go in. If you go in, I will go in. That is the kind of stand he's doing it. That is the stand he's saying. And that's very, very different from Stalin. Stalin was telling him, please, okay, don't be too rash. Don't do all those things. I know you want to unite Korea, but don't be rash. I'm not going to help you if you are going to be rash. Understand? At the end of it, did the Russian came in? During the Korean War, think about it. Did the Russian came in? Yes or no? Who came in instead? China. Why did China came in? Was it because Russia told them to go in and help? No, because China was threatened. Can you see that? China was threatened, and that's why China stepped up. Can you see the difference or not? The whole Cold War had what? What Cold War become? It had escalated. Can you see the context really? It's different. It's no longer you keep to your own thing, I keep to my own thing. We try not to disturb each other. Now he say, if you come in, you are hypocrites. Americans are hypocrites. If you continue like that, we are going in to repel you. You come into Cuba, we're repelling you. Simple as that. We are going to protect our little friend. Can you see the context here? Now, look at the second part on Khrushchev, the reply that Khrushchev received from Kennedy. Okay, Kennedy wrote another letter to tell them what he perceived as the incident. Okay, and what is the American stand. I want you to think through that. Tomorrow we will discuss this in class. Okay, before I end on today's lesson, any questions? Are you clear about what you have been doing so far? Okay, I need to set the context because I need you to understand how the whole thing has escalated. Can you see the difference? It's not like Korean War anymore, no. Korean War is you take half, I take half. This one is you come and take. I'm not going to give you half of Cuba, no. Sorry, there's no half. It's either we take it or we leave it. Understand? Any question? Anybody, anything? Burning question you need to ask? All clear? So complete this. Tomorrow we'll continue with the next scene. We're going to go on to the actual fighting. Okay, that will be fun. The next lesson. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you, class.